love the fact that the MSNBC guy even can't take her bullshit.
Yeah.
Even MSNBC can't take Jean-Pierre's bullshit. He's like, yeah, but now you are talking for yourself. So yes or no?
Right.
We were hoping you would actually give a yes or no answer to these questions now that you don't have to spin for a administration that's funding a genocide.
Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show, everyone. I'm your guest host, Chris Keene. I'm here with, I decided to platform my guest today. We have a friend of the show, Jimmy Dore, everyone.
Hey, how are you? All right, let's get to it.
All right, so here we go. All right, Trita Parsi tweets, "This is one of the most disgusting things you'll see today, but also extremely revealing."
Karine, just because we got a few more things that we want to cover, and obviously foreign policy was a big thing during that administration, as you can imagine. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about foreign policy. You didn't mention Afghanistan, you haven't mentioned Gaza, and you certainly didn't mention Gaza much in your book. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. You stood at the White House podium speaking on behalf of the administration. You defended U.S. policy in Gaza at a time where there were mass civilian casualties, journalists being killed, whole families being wiped out, hospitals being bombed. And the international community was calling it what it was at the time, saying it was a violation, it was war crimes, and you defended the administration's policy. When you look back at that moment, do you regret any of the positions that you advocated for on behalf of the administrations, the positions you take? Do you feel that you were complicit in advocating a narrative that turned out to be wrong?
No, I appreciate the question, because one thing that I really want to make clear is that I was speaking on behalf of the president. That is the job of the White House press secretary. I'm not speaking for Karine Jean-Pierre. I was speaking for Joe Biden.
She was just speaking on behalf of the president. That's all. You know, she wasn't committing a genocide. She was just, defending the people that were, lying for the people that were. It's not that bad. She's a good lady.
Every White House press secretary, that is their job.
Well, you said now you speak for yourself.
Hold on. Wait, let me finish.
No, I know. I just want to, because we're almost out of time. I just want to go ahead.
I'm going to get to it. Obviously, what's happening is heartbreaking. And to not say that and not to be clear about the devastation and the killings that we're seeing of families is just heartbreaking. And I would say is that is not the way I believe people wanted it to turn out. But I didn't make policy. The president is going to write his book. He will speak to his policy.
So she's not going to condemn it, but it's heartbreaking. I feel sad. Don't get me wrong. I'm sad, but it is what it is. We did our best. It's heartbreaking.
I had to be the mouthpiece for that heartbreaking BS. I had to be the mouthpiece for it, and I propped it up, and I didn't criticize it, and I defended it. But it is heartbreaking.
We're all heartbroken. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to let his foreign policy team speak to that, but it is heartbreaking. And I'm hoping that the ceasefire holds. We need to get to a peaceful situation in the Middle East, to a peace agreement. And I know that's going to take a lot of hard work, but of course, that's not what I want to see. Of course, that's heartbreaking. I don't want to see
we should have a heartbreaking counter
families, children, journalists being killed. Of course not.
Of course, I don't want to see that. That's why I lied to cover it up and fed it to you for years. That's why. And
I used my identity as a black lesbian woman to shield any accurate criticism of that heartbreaking policy. Because you know what is even more heartbreaking than a genocide in Gaza is if I lost my paycheck. That would actually that'd be heartbreaking and one wallet breaking.
And I hope that we get to a place where we can get to a peace agreement in the Middle East. And I know that's going to be incredibly tough to make that happen.
Now that you are speaking for yourself, Karine, do you have any regrets at all for anything that you said while you were speaking on behalf of this administration?
Look.
It's just it's a simple yes or no. You don't even know.
No. Because you're asking for a yes or no question. I want to put some context to it too.
You already said no.
I woke up every day very proud to be the White House press secretary. I woke up every day as a
genocide
black
defender
woman who is queer.
As a black woman who is queer.
So there you go. She's using that as a shield for her to be able to defend her an administration she's working for and a mouthpiece for committing a genocide. And look, I'm a black woman who's queer. Come on, you can't come at me. I'm black and I'm queer. Okay.
Amazing.
Who no one had ever seen someone like me at that podium standing behind that lectern. It was an honor and a privilege to have that job.
The genocide is so much better when a black queer woman does it. I have a joke about this in my stand-up act, which is, the people of Gaza won't even feel those bombs when they're dropped by a strong black woman. I don't understand this.
And I did it to the best of my abilities. And I spoke for the President of the United States, a person that I believe was a decent person. We did not get everything right.
Decent. People, they always say
what
decent.
Is this that Joe Biden? What is this idea that Joe Biden was a decent person? When did that start? Oh, that started when they couldn't defend his policies. So now he's a decent person. Joe Biden's not a decent person. He's a war criminal. Half the prison population is there because of him. They locked him up for the exact things that his kid did. And he wants grace and he wants sympathy for his kid when he's a drug addict. But if it's your kid, he wants them put in prison forever. So he brags about it. He brags about writing the crime bill that exploded the prison population, which filled it with black and brown people. Over policed those neighborhoods, over prosecuted them. We have more people in prison than China in the United States. So anyway, there she is, and she's using the identity politics to do this. And identity politics is just completely based on self-righteous narcissism, and because issues don't matter unless it reminds them of themselves. then they matter. And how can you go on camera and saying that you once? Let's watch the rest.
Okay.
No one is saying we got everything right. No one is saying that we got everything.
Yeah. You really. Is the question on everyone's mind, is anyone saying you got everything right? Is anyone saying that? No one's saying that. Go ahead. I don't know why she brought that up.
Right. No one is saying that. But we did it to our best of our abilities, and I worked very hard to do that job. And so I want to put it into context. And as you know, at the podium, you don't do yes or no quiz answers.
No, we were hoping you would now that you are speaking for yourself and you're not at the podium.
I was very proud. I was very proud of everything that I did. So I don't take anything back. I was really proud of everything.
So it's heartbreaking, but she's proud of it.
Yeah.
And I hear that decent thing all the time. What happened to decency in the White House? When was there decency in the White House?
When was there ever decency in the White House?
Yes. Yeah.
Barack Obama had a kill list.
Exactly. People say that about George W. Bush.
That he was decent. Yes. The guy ordered a torture program.
Right.
And led us into a war where we killed a million innocent civilians.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We have Amon M asks former White House press secretary Jean-Pierre if she regrets defending Biden's Gaza policy, blind support, and for Israel's genocide. She first tries to explain away by saying that she spoke on behalf of the president, not herself. When Amon points out that she now speaks for herself, Jean-Pierre refuses to give a clear yes or no answer, but instead says she needs to add context. What is that context?
But first of all, I love the fact that the MSNBC guy even can't take her bullshit.
Yeah.
Even MSNBC can't take Jean-Pierre's bullshit. He's like, yeah, but now you are talking for yourself. So yes or no? Right. We were hoping you would actually give a yes or no answer to these questions now that you don't have to spin for a administration that's funding a genocide. We were hoping. Okay. What's the context?
She plays the identity card, saying she woke up every morning being proud of being the first black and queer spokesperson for the White House. And then she adds, I was very proud of everything I did. I don't take anything back. So she uses the identity card to make genocide apologism permissible. Just as those in Europe who divide the world between democracies and authoritarians and then argue that Israel's apartheid, genocide, and war crimes are all permissible because Israel is a, quote, democracy. Laws, rules, and ethical standards are not objective and do not apply equally to all. Rather, your identity and your political makeup determine whether laws and ethical standards apply to you. In Jean-Pierre's world, her identity gives her license to support genocide without regret.
Yes.
Here we have Ibrahim Zabad. She is very honest. She said it with a straight face. She is proud of serving as the spokesperson of Genocide Joe, and she has no regrets in defending the live stream genocide and marketing it as self-defense. Here's the exchange. Do you have any regrets about defending Biden's genocide? I was only ever speaking on behalf of the president, but you're speaking for yourself now. Wow. But do you regret it? Oh, I'm black and queer, so it's okay. It's all right. And this is what the Democrats do.
She's doing a memorial to herself.
Here we go, folks. That's the story there.
Don't worry, but don't worry. Go back. Don't worry. All those bombs, they were manufactured in America by union workers.
There you go.
Isn't that nice?
The only thing we make anymore, apparently. Yeah. Jean-Pierre is making the media rounds as she promotes her new book. Make sure to get that, everyone. Independent, a look inside a broken White House outside the party line. A broken White House. You were part of the broken White House. What do you... In which she
you were the mouthpiece for that broken White House.
Yes, and you said you're proud of it.
And you're proud of it every day.
What is this book? She explains her decision to exit the Democratic Party. Why is she exiting if she was proud of what she did? As the Washington Post book critic Becca Rothfeld noted in a scathing review, Jean-Pierre did not cite the Biden administration's steadfast support for Israel's decimation of Gaza among the reasons she ditched her former party. That wasn't one of the... I'd love to know what the reasons were if that wasn't on the list. Jean-Pierre's central complaint boils down to more or less a vague sense of personal grievance. The Democrats were mean to Biden, her boss. They were mean to her personally. Jean-Pierre sums up her complaints when she writes that she's exacerbated with the shady way Democrats do business. I guess that doesn't include the genocide that they were part of. That's not the shady way.
It's them being mean to her behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's what she's upset about. Part of that business under the Biden administration was providing material and diplomatic support to Israel as it waged all-out war on the Gaza Strip following the deadly Hamas-led attack of October 7. As chief spokesperson for the Biden White House, Jean-Pierre stood before the press and the global community and defended the administration's support for Israel's assault while criticizing international efforts to pursue accountability for Israeli leaders, as well as efforts by U.S. lawmakers to halt the flow of weaponry used to massacre Palestinians indiscriminately.
It's weird she left that part out.
Yes.
Yeah.
We strongly oppose this resolution, Jean-Pierre said last November when asked about a Bernie Sanders-led push to block U.S. bomb sales to Israel. We are very committed to Israel's security. That has been ironclad. So I guess the moral of the story is genocide's good as long as the good guys do it. As long as you're black and queer and you're on the right team.
I like that. So what she's saying is she had a problem with the way they were committing genocide and not the fact that they were committing genocide. Wow. Talk about a finicky eater. Am I right? Excuse me, waiter. Could you cut off the stems of the baby spinach on my organic bullshit salad?
I'm just looking forward to seeing her on The View.
Yeah, I'm sure she's been on.
Oh, that's her big audition.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, her whole career was an audition to be on The View. Her whole career was an audition to go out and sell books and give public speech. That's what that's all about. Yeah. I mean, the guy who hosts ABC's morning show, George Snuffleupagus, he was Bill Clinton's press secretary, and now he's been a TV celebrity for the last 25 years.
It's wild to me that people who work in our government end up working in the press. And then people are like, why don't you trust the press? Well, yeah. I mean, are you not seeing this?
Yeah. Come see us in Australia. Second show's added in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. We'll see you in Burbank, California, the day after Thanksgiving. It's a Friday. And then Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. Plus, January 11th, we're going to be in Waikiki at the Blue Note. Tickets not available yet for them, but go to jimmydore.com for a link for all the other tickets.